Arturo Novoa was a loser. He was a mooch. He was an ex-con. He was a wannabe rapper. He relied on others to get him out of trouble, to cover for him when he ran short, and he grew a large group of friends who were so used to helping him out that when it came to something really big, they were there for him. And then, one night, it all came crashing down for him, and everything he had done and everything he had been started pulling people under right alongside him. Join us as we look into the sordid story of Arturo Anthony Novoa, a petty crook, ne'er-do-well who turned himself into a murderer.
Call 911, what is your emergency?
Yeah, my name is Ted Escobar.
Okay.
Me and my wife, we just found a dead body in our freezer.
Dead body
A freezer?
in the freezer?
A freezer. My friend called last week. He said my electricity is off. Can I put my freezer in your basement? And I said, yeah.
All right, it's okay, sir. What's your name again?
My name's Ken Escobar. I'm standing right in front of my house.
Is it a male? Is it a female?
I think it's a female because...
Before we begin, we would like to extend our deepest sympathies to the family and loved ones of Shannon Graves DePaul. It was Saturday night, July the 29th, 2017, when Kevin Eschenbaum made a call to the Camel, Ohio 911 operator. He and his wife had made a terrible discovery in their basement. A freezer they had been keeping for a friend turned out to contain some remains of a human body, a young Caucasian woman. Cops would quickly swarm the area, securing the evidence and trying to learn whatever they could from the family. Both the husband, Kenny, and his wife, Jill Eschenbaugh, were taken down to the station and asked what they knew about the freezer and how it came to be there, who was responsible for it, and whose remains those could have been. Much of the video you will see in this case has not been released nor ever seen before.
Can you tell me what happened today?
Today, my husband went over to his friend's house, and I was thinking about what to make for dinner. And I didn't have any hamburger in our freezer, so I thought maybe there might be some in there, so I went down, and I knew that the padlock was on that freezer, and so I took a little screwdriver down with me, and I just unscrewed it. And when I opened it up, I saw the black trash bag and that 5-gallon bucket with the orange lid. And I saw that, and my stomach flipped, and I just shut it. And I put the screws and stuff back in, and my husband came home like maybe 10 minutes later. And he knew something was wrong as soon as he sat down on the couch, and he said, what's wrong? And I told him what I saw, and he said, well, he goes, you stay up here and I'm gonna go down and take, see what it is. So he went down and he took the screws and stuff out of it again, and he opened it up, I guess, and he was down there just for a couple minutes, and I stuck my head down and I went down the steps, and I just sat down on the steps, and he was taking that bag, that black bag, out of the backpack. There's a red backpack, and he tried to open up that, and I think I wanted to get scissors because it was tied real tight, and I gave him a thing of scissors, and he cut that open, and then there was another bag of that inside of that bag, and he cut that one open, and when he tried to open it up, it smelled horrible. And I thought it was spoiled meat at first. I was hoping that it was just spoiled meat. And I said, it just stinks too bad. I said, just put it back. I said, just wrap it up and put it back in the backpack. And he went to go open the other one, and it was the same thing. It was tied, and then he cut that one, and then he opened, there was another bag inside of that. And when he cut that open, that's when he saw the foot in the bag.
Okay.
And he said, it's a foot. And I said, no, it can't be. And I even went over to where he was at, and I was like, oh my God, it is. And then we both went upstairs, and he went out I went upstairs to check on our son, and he went out and called the police.
Let's talk
I
about
did get money for free.
let's talk about what happened today then, because we ended up at your house today for a reason.
Right.
And that reason was
Right. I went across the street, diagonal. My buddy Mark lives there. I've known him for years. We got band and stuff together. Our parents just gave us a new Lincoln. Not new, but new to us. So I took it over and showed him the car. We were talking about what to have for dinner, I said, well, I can make some spaghetti sauce or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And I was over there for maybe a half hour or so, 40 minutes. Came back, sat down on the couch, smoking a cigarette. My wife's sitting next to me. And she's just sitting there, and I just look on her face. We've been together 30 years. And I said, what's the matter? She said, I opened that freezer up downstairs. And I said, and? She said, there's a 5-gallon bucket and a big black garbage bag. I said, did you look in it? She said, no. And she was like, thank. I said, you want me to go down and see? She said, yeah. I said, did you put the screws back in? She said, yeah. I'm like, well, why'd you put the screws back in? And stuff like that.
because he went down and unscrewed the hasp.
She took the...
Why?
Because she said, because she wanted to see if there was any hamburger in there, she didn't make spaghetti sauce. I think it was gnawing
It
at
just
her,
got to her.
and she wanted to see, but that
Well,
was her
listen.
way. It's okay. I mean,
Listen, it's your house.
right. I'm
You
saying,
got a freezer in your basement,
right,
and
and
there's
it
a
has a
padlock
padlock
on
on
it.
it.
and-
and
You're paying for this guy
right.
to run a freezer at your house.
Well, that's another thing. He said, I'll give you $100 a week to keep it.
$100.
I said, Anthony, $100. I said, your rent's $450 a month. I said, just throw me like $20 a month, or whatever for the electric bill or whatever.
He offered $100
I said,
a
I'll
week.
give you $100 a week.
Well, the light had to go off when he said that.
It did. I'm like, well, first I thought maybe he just misspoke, or maybe, he said, I'll give you $100 a week, or whatever. That's how you followed up, or whatever. I said, Anthony, I thought we were friends.
So
I'm
he
like,
brought a
"No,
locked freezer to your house and
I didn't-
offered to give you $100 a week.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was locked.
Well, I mean,
and that's right.
yeah.
My wife told me. I just figured, well, you don't want us to eat the meat.
So after a couple of days, you had to be suspect of this.
I was. And then
But then you didn't know what to do.
So,
I laid on the couch one night, and I'm thinking, story's missing. He
so
has
this,
their car.
this is bugging you and your wife.
Right.
Gotta be.
Eating on this. Right.
So she decides
She can't take it anymore.
she can't take it
Open up.
any
So
longer.
she's going to look for some hamburger.
Okay.
And then I went down, and I undid it, and I opened it. As soon as I opened it, my stomach just flipped. Then I just like, what? That's how you store your meat? So I picked up the bag. It was pretty heavy, the big one. And I picked up the 5-gallon bucket, and I set it down, and I opened it, and there's a backpack. I'm like, take the backpack out, open it up, there's a green garbage bag in it. Open up the green garbage bag, another green garbage bag. But it's frozen frozen
Big
together.
solid block.
Right, so I got these scissors, and it smells really bad. I'm like, well, why would it? That's when I knew. I was like, why would you wouldn't put rotten meat in the freezer and freeze it? It didn't rot in the freezer because it would be frozen. And and my wife's looking, and it just looks so weird to me. I've seen lots of rotten meat and thing, working in restaurants and thing. And my wife said, nah, she said, just put it back in the thing. I said, no, Joe, I'm looking. I said, I've never seen nothing like this. No kind of meat or nothing like this. So I took had the other bag sitting on the floor. I couldn't get the knot out. It was like frozen. I just couldn't do it, I didn't have the strength to get it out. She said, you want me to get you some scissors? I said, yeah. She brought me down a pair of scissors.
Well, hell yeah, you got to get in there
Right.
now.
I said,
right?
I got to see what's in here, And then and then I'm like, it's not covered. The meat's not covered. And then I recognized the foot and the thing, and I just my wife grabbed her head and I grabbed mine.
You knew it was a body.
And I said, I turned around, I said, call the police. But she didn't. She was freaked out, so I just took the phone and I didn't call nobody, nothing.
So how did this freezer get down into the basement of the Eschenbaugh's house?
Monday, July 17th, he brings his freezer over. Now, you tell him where to put it.
Yeah. I told him, I said, as soon as you walk in the basement door, there's a little thing, just put it in there, I said, there's a plug right there you can plug it into.
Did you notice at the time there was a padlock on it?
I didn't even look at the freezer. When he brought it out of the thing, he was on top. He got the top, Mike got the bottom of it, and Nancy got the top, of it, and they carried it. And I didn't look at it or anything. And then you come down, and you say, hey, your outlet doesn't work.
The police, even before forensics could make their own determination, had a very, very good idea of whose body was in the freezer. Just over a month before, on June 22nd of 2017, the family of Shannon Graves DePaul had filed a missing persons report. The 28-year-old woman had not been seen since February 23rd of that year. A strong-willed and feisty young woman, it was not unusual for Shannon, known as Star to her friends, to be out of contact with her family for a few weeks at a time. She was a free spirit and busy, often working in nearby Akron, Ohio, about 50 miles away. Small in stature, she was also known to have a fighter spirit, often taking up for others and rarely backing down from anyone who would attempt to intimidate her. She also had an on-again, off-again relationship with Arturo Novoa. Up until now, not even a hint of what had happened to Shannon had been found. Now they had a line between her disappearance and the freezer in the basement of the home in Camel, and that line would eventually be drawn straight through Arturo Novoa's life. Detective Sergeant Matt Lambert dug deeper into the relationship the Eschenbaus had with Arturo, as well as the man's relationship with Shannon.
I don't know how you feel about it, but legally, there's nothing wrong with you looking in the freezer. So, it's not a big deal if you were like, man, I need to know what's in this freezer, and you open up this freezer, but, you know, I mean, is that what happened? I mean,
I really was just looking for stuff for dinner tonight. I really was. He was at his friend's house, and I was just like, I didn't have any hamburger in the freezer, so I was like, I'll see if you kind of thing. And you told him, I was like, I figured I'd just, replace it on paytails, go get them, and, and everything, and put it back in there. And that's really all that it was.
Because what I'm trying to tell you is there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, this is weird, I need to look at it.
Right. I mean, at the time when I saw the padlock, did I think that was weird? Yeah, I even told my husband that. I said, why would you put a padlock on?
Well, you said you guys kind of joked around and said, well, maybe Shannon's in there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't really think that was that. No. I wouldn't even.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're kidding around, but.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird.
Right. I just would never.
Okay.
I still can't believe it.
Kenneth Eschenbaugh gave a more complete picture of the man and how his relationships worked, both with Shannon and Katrina Layton, who also had a history of on-again, off-again relationships with the man.
He was always with this Katrina girl on and off, right? Like, she'd get her income tax return, he'd be with her. And then that would run out, and then he'd be off with some other girl, and then income tax would come. He does like 3 years in a row. He goes back with her because she gets like $6,000-7,000 or something. And then I don't know where else do you want me to go next? Like,
well, so you've known him for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You've known his girlfriend Trina.
About the same.
He's lived with her on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know her mother?
Yeah, I don't know her. Like, I don't know her name, but I know her face. I know where she lives.
She lives like right around the corner from you. Yeah.
Right around the corner. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know this girl named Star?
I knew her from when Anthony brought her to the house.
And when was that?
First time I brought her was last summer. About the middle of last summer, probably.
Yeah, it was like his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just when they had just kind of got together,
They get along?
When the first couple of times they came over, yeah, they got along. But then after that, it was a lot of fighting and stuff. I even asked him, but the same problem with his other girlfriend, Trina, I asked him not to bring her around no more. And I asked him not to bring Star around no more because there's fight. They fought outside the house, yelling back and forth at each other, happening this and that. I said, come on, my line was right there,
Yeah.
I just asked him not to bring her over anymore.
Star?
Yeah.
But did you ask her not to bring Katrina around too?
Yeah.
So you had the same problem?
Yeah, because they're always fighting.
So whenever he's with either one of them, he's fighting one of them?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't start out that way?
No.
Okay.
No.
When's the last time you saw Star?
Oh boy, let's see. Oh boy, it's been a while. It was the end of last summer. I guess it was around the end of last summer. Actually, it was starting to get cold because the pool water was getting too cold to swim. In fact, they came and they went to swim and it was too cold to swim, so it got to be like the very end of the summer. I remember we got some mics, hard lemonade, you know, sat outside underneath the umbrella and thing. We drank a couple beers and then he had a little bit of weed. We smoked some weed. And he went home, and that's the last time I saw her.
Detective Lambert also brought in Michael Gordon and his mother the next day to help establish how Arturo came to be in possession of the freezer and how it ended up in the basement of the Eschenbaugh's home. Gordon was a co-worker of Arturo's at Outback Steakhouse and had known the man for about a year.
Okay, the reason I'm bugging you guys is I need to know about things you might have moved for a guy named Anthony. And this guy you would know as Anthony. That's not his name, but it's what you know him as, Anthony. Do you know that's not his real name?
I know his name, no. I know he says Tony.
Right.
It's a derivative of Anthony, so
Yeah.
neither one of them are right.
Right. His real name is Arturo Novoa. Most people who are very close to him don't even know that, but it's something.
We
that's
do
going on.
know because he prides himself on saying that he's Puerto Rican.
Okay. He's happy about that, I guess. Okay, so I'm interested in things you may have moved for him.
Okay.
And I'm specifically interested in a freezer. So what can you guys tell me about a freezer?
I was with him when they bought it.
Who bought it?
Anthony bought it. He was on the phone with Trina. Trina gave him the money. They were together earlier that day.
Anthony
Trina gave him the money.
bought it. Trina's money.
They were on the phone all the time he was in the store.
Which was where?
Walmart.
So you were with him when he bought this. Is this you and him?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was on the phone constantly.
So
Constantly.
he
And
buys
even
it.
after he bought it, I went to the bathroom. She got mad because I took my time going to go get my car for it to come in, for him to put it in the car, for them to put it in the car. She's like that. She's really like that.
So if you had to guess, when do you think this was?
Around the first week of July. I don't think it was before the 4th.
Okay.
They deliver the freezer to a duplex that Arturo and Katrina were renting together. A couple of weeks later, Arturo gets them to help him take the freezer over to the Eschenbaugh house on Divot Avenue.
It was just a lock and some screws. And my toe.
I'm saying the metal parts that you locked the lock to, because that thing didn't have the stuff on it.
I guess. It was with the lock. Like,
Oh, it was a kit.
it was
It
just
was
a
a lock.
lock and some screws and shit. He
Okay.
just put it in my toe.
So he put it in your toe. When you got there, he put it on.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he couldn't have did it before.
Okay.
Because the toe. He asked about it.
Now
When he showed you the upstairs,
this is real important.
Yeah. He was
We
showing
we
me
didn't
the
have the
upstairs.
tote. We didn't have the tote then, so it had to be that day.
Does Trina know that you're over at Devitt putting his freezer there?
Yeah, she has to. If she's the one, I went from Devitt to her house, where Anthony got the extension cord.
Yeah.
He's the one that told me she helped him find it, and we go back to Devitt. So I would assume, yes, she does.
She's calling, talking while you guys are doing all this? Or?
Well, he talked to her in the house when he got the extension cord.
Well, I mean, you said
And yeah,
you said she has a habit of
always,
calling,
she got a
calling.
bad habit. She got a bad habit of calling that boy every 10, 15 minutes. And like I said, when he ignores her calls, she blows his phone up. Right?
Oh, yeah.
When he ignores the calls, I get phone calls.
Hey, if I'm not with him and she can't find him, she calls me. And I'm like, look, I'm at work or I'm doing me. Why are you calling me?
I got you.
So,
She keeps tabs on that
And she'll even
boy.
call you if she don't get her set.
Exactly.
Okay.
She keeps tabs on him better than she keeps tabs on her son.
Up until this moment, the Gordons didn't know the extent of what they had been involved with. Just a hint from Detective Lambert sets off their understanding that they had done much more than just help out a friend.
Help him move
It
that
don't make
thing?
no sense.
Or did you move it yourself?
Move what myself?
That freezer.
No. I helped him move it.
Okay. Was it heavy?
No.
Not heavy. Okay. Did you look at it?
Nope.
Okay.
There's something more than you're not telling us.
No.
And we don't need to know, do we? Do we?
I would want to know. Did you know Shannon?
Who?
Shannon,
No.
his other girlfriend.
No.
Never met her?
Nope.
They call her Star?
Nope.
Okay.
Hear talk about her.
You do?
That's about it.
What do you hear?
Can nobody find her? And she does this often.
Well, we found her.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Not in that freezer.
No. How the fuck would he ask me to move some shit like that?
See how he drunk
He
it
brought
is?
it brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Arturo had already been brought in for questioning by the police on the matter, and Detective Lambert let the Gordons know the man's version of the story.
That's why we had to talk to you guys, because crazy as that is. Because Anthony don't know nothing about no freezer. Anthony don't know nothing about no freezer.
Are we talking about the same Anthony?
The only Anthony I know.
We're talking about the
Or
same Anthony.
God I know.
So,
I told you there's something weird about them.
You did.
The reality of the situation they may have been part of sinks in heavily on the Gordons.
What, Mom, you alright?
I'm thinking that freezer was just...
not very big.
It wasn't at all.
No, it wasn't very heavy either. I'm not.
It wasn't.
She wasn't a very big girl.
Shannon Graves was a young woman making her way through a tough world surrounded by rough and tumble communities. She was strong, and according to her friends, there were two things in the world she loved more than anything: her father and her dog. As we said before, it wasn't unusual for her to lose touch with her family from time to time. Life and time would get away from her, chasing work and doing what she needed to do just to get by. But from March to June of 2017, her family could not reach her. She was not returning calls or texts or anything, and that was a bit out of character for her, especially for such a long period of time. Her father would file the missing persons report on June the 28th, just a little over 4 months since anyone could remember seeing her. So, while the family lost touch with her, that second love in her life was making appearances in Youngstown. Numerous people saw her dog being walked, but it wasn't Shannon taking the dog out. It was Katrina Layton. Someone had also been living in the duplex that Shannon had leased with Arturo. Yeah, it was Katrina Layton. Someone was also using Shannon's debit and public assistance cards to purchase groceries and other necessities in Youngstown. Those cards would be found in the duplex being shared by Arturo, Katrina, and her children. Numerous witnesses would tell investigators that they had seen all of these things during the time that Shannon had been missing. And to a person, they all said that Katrina and Shannon had hated each other. They were rivals at times for the affections of Arturo Navoa. None of them looked to be suspicious or sinister at that time, but now in hindsight, and with the finding of Shannon's dismembered body, a clearer picture of what had happened was coming together. Investigators began building a timeline of what had happened based on the testimonies they had received as well as the evidence that was being gathered. They believe that Arturo killed Shannon on February 24, 2017, the day after she had returned from working in Akron. She had been bludgeoned numerous times, suffering mortal wounds to her head from what appeared to be a framing hammer. The hammer used in the murder was found hidden among the trash and debris in Arturo's home. Katrina was also thought to have taken part in the killing. Now they had the problem of a body and how to dispose of it. Katrina had access to a garage where they could do the grisly work. Shannon's body was taken there, along with a reciprocating saw, and Arturo called and asked Andrew Herman. Andrew wasn't just a loyal friend, but he was also the kind of person that might relish in such a gruesome and grim task. Arturo, Katrina, and Andrew worked for some time to remove the head and limbs from the body. The head was then shaved and doused with sulfuric acid, along with the torso, in an attempt to either destroy it or make it impossible to identify. Her arms, legs, and other unidentified body parts were then placed into black trash bags. The garage was then cleaned up as best they could. Forensic teams would later find just a few blood spatters on items within the garage. The drops may have been few, but they were telling pieces of evidence. An associate of Arturo and Andrew, a local man named Chris Rose, better known as Clown, provided Detective Lambert with some insight on what kind of a person Andrew was.
I mean, forever though. Out of all of my friends, I would say out of all of my friends, the person you would call to, like, if something were to happen like that, would be Andrew.
Why?
So, he's just a dark kid, man. He's always been about dead bodies and, like I make his music. It's all dark, weird shit. You know what I mean?
Music. What do you mean?
Like, I used to make his music. I used to make Andrew's music for him. Like, I would record it, do all that. It was just always, like, real dark stuff, you know what I mean? Like, because I've known Andrew since we were working at the Scaregrounds, 14 years old, you know what I mean? It's always just been weird stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
how about Anthony?
Anthony, his music was more like wannabe drug dealer type music, you know what I mean? I don't know. I would say, that's what I would say.
Same old shit as every other guy.
Yeah.
Like writing rap lyrics.
Yeah. Like, but Andrew's stuff, it was strange. You know what I mean? Like, even the rap name he goes by is strange. It's just Dead Necrophiliac Assassin. Which, I mean, anybody, that's strange, alright? I made him go by DNA because that was weird. I was like, nah, I'm not making no music by no fucking weird-ass name like that, you know what I mean? Like, he's always been a weird dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I always just thought it was just a gimmick for the music thing, you know what I mean? I never really would have thought, like...
So with a name like that, he's making, what, like, Insane Clown Posse type lyrics?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Alright.
That's why I figured it was just like a gimmick, you know what I mean?
Rip off.
Yeah.
Clown would also talk about an incident where Arturo and Andrew had taken some items over to a friend's house to burn them in a bonfire. Whatever had happened there bothered Andrew quite a bit.
I don't know. Andrew got really, really strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've known Andrew a long time. Me and Andrew have been friends for years. Over the last 3-4 months, I thought it was his girlfriend that was making him strange. You know, like, you know, guys get with girls and they start acting funny.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. You've been acting real strange. Something's off. You know what I mean? Okay. So it started to make me put 2 and 2 together. I really feel like there's something there. I really do. Because, I mean, the night that I came home after I was told that there was, like, some suspicious fire going on, his girl was downstairs in the basement crying. I asked her what it was about, and she didn't tell me nothing. So I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to open that crate of eggs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and then when we went out fishing, I was like, so what they burn that night, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, some bags. He's like, they wouldn't really let me outside to see, you know, everything that they was burning or nothing. He said he poked his head out the window or whatnot. He said, but there was a bag that they handed him. Andrew, or it was either Andrew or Anthony, one of the two handed him a bag and told him, don't look inside this bag.
Okay.
He didn't look in the bag. I told him he's a fucking idiot for not looking in the fucking bag.
Well, everybody's told him.
Like, seriously, you gotta, like, at least take a peek. I mean, if somebody's putting you in a situation like that, you kind of gotta, like,
yeah,
you know, at least.
Yeah.
That way, if anybody ever asks you what was in that bag, at least you know what was in that bag. They said there's 25 to life in this bag.
Steve
Don't
told
look in
you
this
that.
bag. Yes.
Steve told you that Andrew told him that.
Yes.
Do not look in this bag.
Yes.
Detectives had no doubt what the men were trying to burn, and they quickly went to the location and surveyed what was still there. While they found no human remains, they were able to recover a small bracelet, one that could be matched to one seen in a photo of Shannon. Strangely enough, on the night of the bonfire, the fire had gotten a bit out of control and the local fire department had been called by a neighbor. By the time the fire truck arrived, the men had gotten the burn pit back under control and firemen had no chance to get a look at what was involved. This would prove to not be the only near miss Arturo would have with authorities in this case. On April the 27th, police attempted to pull over a car driven by Arturo Novoa. He had been clocked going 45 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Instead of pulling over, he tried to make an escape. He ended up crashing the car into a fence and then trying to flee the scene on foot. Officers chased him down and had to taser him. And then he was taken to a hospital for treatment of injuries he had obtained by climbing over a fence. He was booked that night and later released with a court date. In hindsight, the traffic infraction, while serious, didn't warrant him running from the scene, even though he was on parole. Still, even though there were two missed opportunities, the discovery of what happened to Shannon was an inevitability. Arturo had gotten so many people involved, even those on the fringes who had no idea they were a part of something terrible. After the freezer was found, though Katrina and Arturo were, without a doubt, the main suspects in the disappearance and murder of Shannon Graves, both were quickly brought in, arrested, and interrogated. Andrew would also be brought in for questioning, and Andrew's estranged wife, Michelle Illenfield, would also be implicated in the case. In custody, Arturo would plead that he had nothing to do with the crimes.
Okay. The other day I asked you about the rumors about you burning things up.
Yes.
Okay. You told me you didn't.
Correct.
Okay. Is that still true?
Correct.
You did not burn things up.
I did not.
Okay. Did you, at any point, take a freezer to a house in Camel?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
Okay. So you didn't go to Kenny Eschenbaugh's house on Devitt with a freezer, with a padlock on it and put it in his basement?
I did not.
You did?
And leave and go get an extension cord and plug it back in.
You didn't do that?
I did not.
Okay. Okay. So, up until now, has anything we talked about not been true?
Everything.
The last time you saw Shannon was when? Can't
I don't
remember.
even know. Like the end of February.
Okay. You have no idea what became of her? Where
I
she
do
ended
not.
up?
I do not. I have said this to everybody.
Okay. Okay. People who know you said this, that you burned things up. Now I have people that know you saying you brought a freezer to her house. When they opened it up, guess what they found?
What did they find, sir?
Why do you think you're here? The charge is abuse of a corpse.
Excuse me?
Abuse of a corpse?
Are you being serious right now?
I'm not fooling with you, man.
You're
I
100%
would
serious
not
right
make this
now.
up. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe it.
Well, I wouldn't be sitting here with you at, 10 o'clock at night, and if I wasn't talking about a body in a freezer that you brought to a guy's house.
You fucking kidding me.
Not making it up, man.
The fuck?
So, I'm trying to figure out how all these people that are not her friends, they're people that you know, are saying this.
Alrighty then. Wow. Alrighty then. Yeah, something is wrong here.
Arturo goes on the defensive, saying he's just a working man who didn't have time to be involved, and that all these people who were accusing him were just wrong.
This is fucked up.
It's kind of too many people now. You know what I mean?
This is fucked up.
It's
We
kind
need to
of
make a phone call.
it's kind of too many people.
The thing is, I don't do anything but work and sleep. So when somebody tells me that they're even remotely talking about me or saying anything about me at all, it kind of baffles me.
Okay.
Because all I do is work and sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep.
Okay.
And I talk to my mom. I don't talk to a lot of people.
Okay. Well, you know, when we talked last time, we had this guy that's some kind of acquaintance of yours, lives up the street from you, who says he went with you to burn some things. And they were burned at some people's house where all the people were home. And they were all like, yeah, it's Anthony. Everybody knows Anthony. They know he's Anthony. But everybody knows Anthony. And that was a little weird. But now I have a freezer with a body in it in a guy's house who says, you know, Anthony brought this freezer over here and we opened it up because we thought it was weird. And
What the fuck kind of shit is that?
well, I don't know. We're trying to figure out. Got all these people who know you.
Well, we're gonna have to, I'm definitely gonna have to make a phone call.
Okay.
Because this is some fucked up shit that you're telling me.
Yeah.
And I don't really believe you, but I have no choice but to believe you because I'm sitting here.
Well, we don't do this for.
We wouldn't make it up.
We sure as shit wouldn't arrest you for this not having happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously.
So I basically got all these fingers just being pointed at me, and
Yeah.
now there's a body involved.
Now there's a. And we're really kind of hoping that it's Shannon.
This is fucking
Because if it's
insane.
not, then this guy says you brought a body to his house and it's somebody else and Shannon's still missing, then what are you, some kind of serial killer?
Arturo refuses to acknowledge the seriousness of the charges against him, as if that would explain the whole situation away.
This is gonna take so long. I'll lose my job.
You're going to lose your job? Did you hear what I said? This ain't about your Outback dishwasher job anymore. There's a body in a freezer. And the guy said you brought it to his house.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's her or not,
Yep.
you understand whether it's her or not, doesn't matter. Your dishwasher job at Outback is fucked. Okay? And that's a weird thing for you to say. Like, my job's fucked up?
Detective Lambert spells out the facts of the case and their findings to Arturo in an attempt to turn up the pressure.
I'm telling you that 4 people who know you said you burned her shit up, and now 2 people who know you said you brought a freezer with a body in it to their house, and you're talking to me about your dishwasher job. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You learned that inside your apartment there was some blood, which don't really look too good right now when this girl's missing. I would like to
The
know.
only blood that I can possibly think that you might have
Listen,
found in my
there's a lot of
apartment is mine,
reasons.
for
There's a
sure.
lot of reasons why there might be blood in your apartment. But when you add that onto the fact that these people saw you burning some shit, and when we went through the shit, we figured out it was hers because her bracelet was in there. And when you add in that these other people who know you have a freezer in their basement that they say you brought over there, it kind of, we're past the point of no return on this thing. Like, you didn't bring no freezer with a body in it, and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
That don't happen. So there's a big part of your life that I'm not a part of, and that would be the part where you got a freezer with a body in it. I wasn't with you.
Apparently.
So
Like, how do I end
it
up in
would
this
be
position?
it would be very interesting to me to find out how you came upon a freezer with a body in it. That would be very interesting to me right now. It would also be very interesting to me if that's Shannon in there. It's a bad thing to say, but I'm hoping it is, because if it ain't, then I gotta wonder what the fuck do I got here. If you got a freezer with a body in it and it ain't hers, what the fuck? See what I'm saying? So I got a lot of questions, and none of them are good.
I live a pretty simple life.
Well, it's actually a little bit complex.
How do you say?
Well, you have a probation officer who thinks you live on the east side. And you got a mother who asked me first if I'm probation or police, because that matters where you live. You have an apartment that was your missing girlfriend's apartment that you're still living in.
It used to be ours, but yes.
Yeah. You also have a new house that you guys are paying rent on that you don't live in. And according to Katrina, the only thing that you guys owned in that place was this freezer. So you got an apartment, it's a duplex up and down. What do you want to call that, an apartment or a house?
It's a duplex. But
okay. You have a half a house.
My lease is up in September, so.
You have a half a house that you're paying for that you don't live in, that you don't keep nothing in there but a freezer that just happens to have your dead ex-girlfriend in it. So it kind of looks bad.
I don't have anything in that house. We literally have
Not
no
anymore,
furniture,
no,
nothing.
Not anymore.
No, it's been moved.
Yeah, the freezers, well, we have it now, but it was in Camel.
We literally had nothing in that apartment.
There's a freezer with a body in it, in Camel, that a guy that you do music with says you brought there.
It's impossible, because I didn't do no such thing.
Okay.
Can I make a phone call? Because I'm going to need to obviously get a hold of a lawyer.
Oh, would you like to talk to a lawyer?
I would like to call my lawyer, yes.
Okay.
Andrew would also ask for a lawyer who was present at his questioning. Andrew admitted nothing in 2 interviews, but may have inadvertently made the situation worse for himself in the process. Arturo and Andrew both acted as if they knew the investigators would have to prove their involvement. They were going to give up anything. Katrina, on the other hand, was leveraged a bit by life. The mother of 2 young children, she found herself in jail for an indeterminate amount of time, and there was little she could change about that unless she was willing to turn on the other 2. She held strong for a while.
And so would your children. Your son's out there talking about a story he's supposed to tell us.
A story? What do you mean? I don't know. My kid has all kinds of stories.
Okay.
And no, I mean, I don't know what he meant by that. Like, I don't know what you mean. My son said he has a story. No, I mean, I'm misunderstanding what you just said. You said my son's...
What I'm saying is you could go in the freezer too.
I got you.
But apparently, we ain't got no problem putting people in freezers around here, so
I
that's
mean,
the world you're living in.
I do.
Well,
I got a big problem with it.
well,
So I'm going to jail for
Let me
something
ask you this.
I fucking do.
While investigators did not get much information from her at that time, the pressure had obviously gotten to her. A phone call made from the Mahoning County Jail by Katrina to her mother would speak volumes about how she was actually holding up. Those incarcerated are informed before making any phone calls that anything said in those calls can and would be used against them in a court of law.
Trina. Yo, you gotta get me out of here.
I know, Trina.
You gotta get me out of here. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Where are you? Did they book you?
Yeah, they booked me. Of course they booked me. They got me charged with 2 different things. I don't know what the fuck to do. I didn't even do anything. I don't have a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer.
What did they book you with, murder?
No, abuse of a corpse and obstruction of something or another. I don't even know.
Obstruction of justice?
I guess.
And abuse of a corpse? How is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I kept telling them I didn't know anything about it. I didn't have anything to do with it. They wouldn't
You
listen.
needed the lawyer up. I'm so fucking glad you called me. I was there at 3 o'clock in the morning again. Did they tell you that?
No, they said something, but you were there, and I don't know. I didn't know if you were there when I left, but all they know is I'm standing here. They booked me. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job. I'm never going to
do Anthony? They took Anthony in, too, you know.
Huh?
They took Anthony, too. He's there.
I know.
Tina, you're so fucking innocent. Anthony is so motherfucking guilty. It's not funny.
I don't even know.
Listen to me. Listen. They found her fucking body in the freezer in your new apartment.
No, they said it was in Kenny's.
It was in Kenny's, and they moved it to the new apartment, Trina.
No. The detective told me they found it in Kenny's.
How could they get you for abuse of a corpse?
I don't know.
What the fuck kind of shit is that?
I don't
know. You know why? Because it was in... Because it was in your apartment, that's why.
Because I bought the freezer. They're saying because I bought the freezer.
How did you buy the freezer? You don't have money like that.
No, I gave Anthony money. Like, this is way at the beginning of July. I bought the freezer to put in the new house because the fridge that you have, I knew the freezer was messed up on it, so I bought it as a backup.
I know.
And they're trying to use that against me. Whatever Anthony did, he needs to fix this. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he didn't do anymore. I just know he needs to fix this. Please, right now, I need you to get along with Anthony's mother. I need you guys to get along.
Listen to me. No, you listen to me. You listen to me. You will cut ties right this fucking minute of Anthony and his fucking family. Do you not hear me? They are going to cut ties with you 100%. They're going to fucking lawyer up, and I don't know what the fuck Anthony's going to do. But let me tell you, don't fucking worry about Anthony no more. This is serious big time shit, Trina.
No,
this is serious shit.
I just know that he's not blaming anything on me, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what is going on.
No, nobody knows what's going on, but this is where you cut ties because now you're both suspects. Okay, you're both fucking suspects. Suspects aren't allowed to talk to each other. You don't fucking even.
You are not understanding. I have no proof that I didn't. I have no proof of anything. I have no proof. They're like, oh well, you bought the freezer, so it's yours. What does that mean?
Oh shit!
They're saying that Anthony brought the freezer to Kenny's house. Well, then how did I have anything to do with this? What am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do.
You bought this shit for your new apartment. That's what you get a lawyer for. You know what you did. You know what you bought. You bought it for your new house.
No shit.
In another call from the same jail, Arturo contacts his mother. The hard shell that he had shown before crumbles fairly quickly.
Ma.
Hello. What's going on?
I need to get a hold of Trina.
What are you talking about? Trina's in there too.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I called Trina's phone to see what's going on with you, and her mother picked up the phone talking about that Trina's in fucking jail because of you and this and that, that you killed her, that you chopped her up and all this bullshit. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't be crazy my son without knowing.
Oh my God, there's so much shit, Ma. There's so much shit.
What the hell? What's going on, Arturi? What's going on?
There's so much shit. It's like so much shit. You don't understand. I won't be able to explain it. It's just so much shit. And now they're trying to accuse me of it because of all the fingers being pointed my way. And fuck, man. I just... Mommy, I'm fucking...
You what?
I'm scared over all this shit. I just can't take it. Fucking... And then now you're telling me they got Trina? What the fuck, man?
Yeah. I called her number to see what's going on, and that's what her mother said. They got her down there. Oh my God, what's going on? What? Talk to me. What happened? What's going on?
No, I need a lawyer. I need to sell all my crap. I need a fucking lawyer.
Both Arturo and Katrina were under large bond amounts that neither had a chance of making, from $400,000 to $1 million. Arturo seemed to never understand just how much money that was in comparison to his own personal finances, but Katrina certainly had a better idea of how she had no chance of getting out of jail before the trial to see her children unless she did something. And so Katrina was the first to flip. She made a deal with a local prosecutor for leniency, particularly in getting out from under the potential first-degree murder charge. She corroborated the story that had developed. She admitted to helping dispose of the body, basically assuming Shannon's life, purchasing the freezer, and hindering the investigation. She said that Arturo had killed Shannon and that Andrew had willingly and knowingly helped dismember the corpse. Katrina's bond was reduced to a point that she and her family could secure financing for it, and she was allowed to return home to be with her children. In short order, though, she would be brought back in, rearrested, and her bond was raised to $400,000 because she had, against court orders, contacted Arturo while he was in jail. In the end, Arturo, Andrew, and Katrina would all plead guilty for their parts in the murder of Shannon Starr Graves.
You understand that if you plead guilty today, you're making a complete admission to all of these charges.
The state will recommend a prison sentence of no more than 20 years, and the defense will seek a prison sentence of 10 years.
Guilty.
The two main actors in the crime had made their pleas. Andrew Herman would plead guilty to engaging in corrupt acts, that's a Class 1 felony, tampering with evidence, a Class 3 felony, and gross abuse of a corpse. He would also be charged in an unrelated drug trafficking offense. Andrew's wife, Michelle, would also plead guilty to lesser charges, including the intimidation of a witness, obstructing justice, and engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity. Arturo Novoa was sentenced to 48 years to life for the 43 charges he pled guilty to, from first-degree murder to the abuse of a corpse and a host of other crimes. Katrina Layton would be given a sentence of 18 years in prison for her part in the crime. Andrew received 12 years in prison. Michelle Illenfield would be sentenced to 2 years in prison and 6 months in a halfway house, followed by another 5 years of community-controlled supervision. In the end, no sentence could ever bring Shannon Graves back to her family and friends. She had been lost to a man bent on ending her life and attempting to erase her existence, and the small circle of friends that he would either recruit, coerce, or fool into helping him with the effort. As the detective said, she was not a very big girl, but perhaps her life and death will weigh heavy on those involved. If you found this case compelling, don't forget to like the video, comment down below and give us your take on it, and please subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the notification bell in order to stay up to date each time we reveal a new shocking case. Until next time, stay safe and keep your eyes peeled. You never know what's lurking in the shadows.